Senator Lamb, are you starting us off?
Yeah, looks like we're live. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I see we have a quorum. So welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us for this Wednesday meeting of the Howard County delegation. We have a brief agenda for today. I think that's been circulated with everyone. If not, you can find that on the delegation website. We did have a hearing yesterday for statewide bills, as well as any pieces of county legislation that were not discussed at the prior November hearing. There were two legislative bond initiatives that were heard yesterday because they came in after the November hearing, and those are first on the agenda. So the first one is Howard County 28-21. This is for the firehouse redevelopment. And the second one is for the Community Ecology Center. This is for, this is Howard County 29-21. The firehouse redevelopment's for $500,000. The Ecology Center is for $75,000. If there are no objections, what I would propose doing is voting on them by consent calendar. Does not mean that everyone consents to voting yes. You can still vote no. But that means that this vote will count for both those legislative bond initiatives. Seeing no objections, why don't we proceed with a vote on these two legislative bond initiatives by consent calendar. Abby, if you can call the roll on this.
Do we have a motion and a second?
Move approval of the consent calendar.
All right, so it's been motioned and seconded by Senator Hester.
I'll call the roll. Senator Lamb?
Yes.
Senator Gazzoni?
Yes.
Senator Hester?
Yes.
Delegate Feldmark?
Yes.
Delegate Atterbury?
Yes.
Delegate Eversole?
Yes.
Delegate Hill? Recorded as absent.
Delegate Hill's having trouble getting online. She should be here in a minute, so just put her vote open.
Okay. Delegate Kittleman?
Yes.
Delegate Novotny?
No.
Delegate Pendergrass?
Yes.
Delegate Tarasa?
Yes.
Delegate Watson?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you. So we do have a couple of corrective amendments to take up this morning on two of our alcohol bills. And unfortunately, our delegation counsel, Dara, is having trouble with technology this morning, but I think things are relatively straightforward. So Abby, can you please go ahead and screen share the interlineated copy of House Bill 1151, which was HOCO 221. That was Senator Gazzoni's bill about issuing Class A licenses by election district. So this is achieving the same outcome that we worked through. It's simply reordering for a little bit of clarity around the exception for licenses issued in shopping centers of 200,000 square feet or more. So in preparing the committee amendment after our last meeting, DLS reviewers suggested that this was a cleaner approach. And Abby, can you scroll down, please, so we can see the actual language a little more? There you go. All right. So it's maintaining the same provisions. We're just starting with new Section A, which was previously Section B, is clarifying the exception for licenses in shopping centers over 200,000 square feet. And then we move into the new language that we came up with, saying that any district could have up to 6 licenses, and that if the population warrants, there can be more than 6 as long as there is not more than 1 for every 4,000 people. So it is, it's stylistic, but for clarity. So just want to see, I don't want to get into debating any of the substance of this
Moved.
again. Just, are there any questions on the amendment?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Abby, can you please call the vote?
Sure, just to clarify, who was the second?
I
Courtney.
believe it's Delegate Watson.
Thanks. Sometimes I can't really see it. All right, Senator Lamb,
Yes.
Senator Guzoni,
Yes.
Senator Hester,
Yes.
Delegate Feldmark,
Yes.
Delegate Atterbury,
Yes.
Delegate Ebersol, Delegate Ebersol,
Yes.
Delegate Hill,
Yes.
Delegate Kittleman,
Yes.
Delegate Novotny,
Yes.
Delegate Pendergrass,
Yes.
Delegate Tarasa,
Yes.
and Delegate Watson.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Great, thank you. And Abby, if you could please pull up on screen share the amendment to HB 1152. So House Bill 1152 was HOCO 421. This was delegate, not the letter, the interlineated, I'm sorry, the amendment itself, not the letter. So this was Delegate Watson's bill regarding takeout from restaurants to include alcoholic beverages. You may recall we had a rather extensive conversation about carry out in sealed containers. In fact, we talked about some of the different ways that cocktails are actually, packaged in sealed containers. However, in sealed containers was the sponsor's intent from the beginning. It was everyone's understanding and intent as we were discussing it, but those words did not actually appear in the bill itself or the amendment. So
Well,
this
yes,
is
they were lost in the amendment drafting process somehow.
right. So so this is just adding them back in to clarify that that is our intent here.
Move the amendment.
Second.
Okay, Abby, can you call the vote for us?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Could you clarify the second, please?
I think that was me.
Delegate
Jen
Watson.
Tarasa.
All right, I'll call the roll now. Senator Lamb,
Yes.
Senator Guzoni,
Yes.
Senator Hester,
Yes.
Delegate Feldmark,
Yes.
Delegate Atterbury,
Yes.
Delegate Ebersol,
Yes.
Delegate Hill,
Yes.
Delegate Kittleman,
Yes.
Delegate Novotny,
Yes.
Delegate Pendergrass,
Yes.
Delegate Tarasa,
Yes.
Delegate Watson.
Yes.
The motion passes. Thank you.
Can I just add that the reason these are coming forward is because these were really corrective technical amendments that were brought to our attention by DLS. And that's why we wanted to make sure that all of you were aware and bringing this back forward. So these were really just technical clarifications that were due to the drafting process.
One correction there. Mine was a technical clarification, but it was not brought to us by the DLS.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I do want to, before on members, you've probably seen we received an email from a Board of Education member late in the day yesterday with some concerns about 2 of the bills we passed regarding redistricting. And we have, so I know Senator Lamb, who sponsored the bills originally, has spoken with DLS, and council does not believe that the concern raised the board is something we need to address by changing the legislation. It's a conversation that is, I think, needs to be continued. It is late in the game for these bills. They've already been filed and assigned to committee. In conversation with Senator Lamb as my co-chair, since there is no impending redistricting over the course of the next year, we want to just hold this issue. We can continue the conversation. And if we come to the conclusion that any legislative correction is needed, we can certainly take that up next year. But rather than
I would appreciate it if you could just share what she said, or he.
I'm sorry?
What exactly did they have an objection to? I won't discuss it, but I'd like to
So-
know.
So we
It's
have
been-
board
It has been
members.
emailed around to the delegation, but go ahead.
Today or
Yesterday.
So we do have board member Jen Mallow here. Ms. Mallow, I don't know if you want to very, very briefly just let folks know what the concern is, and then they can follow up with you if they have questions after reading the email.
Briefly, the concern is that the language in the bill does not preclude us having to redistrict. We just want the line added that the reporting mechanism is a reporting mechanism rather than a forced redistricting. And it's an amendment request of one line.
Thank you.
And so
In
just to clarify, DLS has confirmed for us that the existing language in their interpretation does not in any case require redistricting. It's only reporting. I think the Board of Education wants a little more direct reiteration of that. So that is something that, as I said, we will continue the conversation on. And if there's any concern, we can take it up with future legislation.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
it sounds like it's simple to include that line to clarify the intent. Why wouldn't we just do that if we have the ability to do it now, rather than have to go through the whole thing again next year? I mean, it sounds like they're not objecting to the bill. They're just making sure the intent is clear. And we're agreeing.
Yeah, I think there's disagreement on whether or not it's that simple. And so that's why it's something that we'll continue the conversation on.
why is it not simple?
Madam
And
Chair.
that sounds like there is a desire to
Delegate-
keep it
Delegate
open.
Pendergrass.
I would suggest that you get an AG's opinion prior to the hearing.
Yeah.
And if the AG tells us there's concern, then during the hearing, the amendment could be offered. And then we don't revisit the issue. I guess we have to vote that the amendment is needed. But I think that the legislative drafting is great, but I think the AG's opinion is where we should be going with the question.
Correct.
Okay, I'm happy to do that.
So do you need a motion to do that, and we can revisit that, whether we need the amendment or not, or do you just need to do?
I don't
a letter?
think we need a motion to
Fine,
request
thank
the
you.
opinion, but thank you.
sure.
Okay. Then I will turn it over to Senator Lamb. Looks like,
Adele, I think, also had her hand up.
Yes, thank you to Delegate Pendergrass's point. She said that if the AG letter suggests an amendment, I think we can go ahead today and perhaps agree or vote that if the AG suggests an amendment, we do it. And so we don't have to come back and vote once we get that letter.
I am not going to ask people to vote on
Okay,
something that is to be determined.
very
So,
good. Okay.
Are we doing the same thing with the second issue they brought up? On the second bill?
on the testimony issue,
Yes, the public hearing, I think.
we can we can request that
Maybe,
as well.
Board
We
member
can request
Mauer
that as
could-
well.
Yeah. Could we include that in the AG's request?
Yes, we can request that as well.
What was that issue? Madam Chair,
I'm going to suggest that everyone read your email.
in
we
one
will
sentence,
request
could you
the
tell me?
issue. It's a concern about the basis of challenging redistricting. All right, we will ask the AG's office to weigh in on both of those.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, Delegate Ebersol.
So just procedurally, have we already sent a letter to Ways and Means about our vote last week? Are we going to tell them?
The letter has not been sent yet.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, Senator Lamb.
Yeah, so the last items on the agenda, these are bills that are held over. There are two bills that are listed in the agenda. The first one is Howard County 10-21. This is the school safety personnel bill sponsored by Delegate Atterbury. I understand there's still ongoing efforts to work on an amendment for this bill. So we're going to hold this bill for now. And the last bill on the agenda is Howard County 11-21, the commercial building excise tax and deferred maintenance. This is also.
I think that was taken off the agenda. I think Abigail sent out a revised agenda.
Okay, sorry. I'm looking at the agenda that's actually on the delegation website. So that's not on the agenda, or that's being held. So if it's not on the agenda, there's nothing more on the agenda to discuss. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So before we do, Senator Lamb, if I can
Sure.
make a quick general announcement for asking all of the members to keep in mind in dealing with staff, whether that's your own staff or committee staff or DLS staff, we are all dealing with difficult conditions right now, and everyone is doing their best, and everyone's under stress with the realities of a pandemic session. Sometimes that stress does not bring out the best in us, and I'm asking everyone to be mindful of that. As someone who spent 17 years working for elected officials, we're not the easiest crew, even in the best of times. Okay, so please be respectful, be reasonable, be kind. Thank you.
So all sound advice. So on that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. And we will convene, next week is the meeting of the Leadership Howard County. I think they're asking those who are participating to please be in attendance at 8:20. As a result, because we still have one more bill on the agenda, we're requesting that we actually convene at 8 to take up that bill and then move into Leadership Howard County at 8:20. So,
I move we end the meeting.
Mr. Chair,
yeah.
I'm concerned that, okay, that's fine. I thought that might interfere with Baltimore County, but I think this was, that's okay. All right.
I move we conclude the meeting.
Second.
Okay. There's a second. So